This is the Getting Started guide for the GURPS Game Aid. After you've installed the system, you'll want to create a world. Give yourself a name, and the game system is GURPS 4th Edition Game Aid Unofficial. And we will create the world. Now we'll launch it. And we'll start as the game master. Now the first thing you'll want to do is import characters. We'll start with GCS. Open your favorite character in GCS and go to File, Export, Master Library, Foundry VTT. Save your file and you're done. Or you might be exporting your characters from GURPS Character Assistant. To do so, you'll need to download a file. Check our user's guide for the zip location, or it's in the description below. Open up the zip file and extract the GCE file to the GURPS Character Assistant's Sheets directory. Once that is done, you can export and select the Export to Foundry VTT, set the custom file format, you can leave it as text, and press OK. Don't be worried that it looks like it has the same name. It will actually put a .txt at the end of this, so press Save. Now, to import these characters into Foundry, create an actor. Give it any name you want. Press the Import button and select one of the files that you've exported. And press Import. There's Frank Dunn. I'll create a new actor for Bog. Again, give it any name you want. Press the Import key and select your file. And there's Bog. Now to use your character sheet, you just mouse over any of the yellow items to roll them. This will roll against Bog's strength. You can see it here in the chat window. You can roll against his dodge. You can roll an attack. You can roll damage. You can roll skills. You'll also notice some things in orange. These are modifiers. If you click on them, they will appear in the modifier bucket down here in the bottom. For example, if Bog wants to chop somebody's head off, he would add the neck modifier and then try to roll attack. You can see in the chat log that it applied the modifier and he succeeded. You can now roll damage. You can also see these blue hyperlinks. These will open the PDFs in Foundry if you have the PD Foundry module installed. To configure it, you open up Journals and create a PDF. Give it a name, follow the same code, and give it the URL. You will select your file locally and then upload it to your Foundry directory. And you select this and you test. This should open to page 5. If it doesn't, you enter in the page offset plus or minus, and you're done. Now when you click on one of these blue links, it will open the PDF directly to it. Applying modifiers to rolls is very common in GURPS. To do so, you bring your mouse over the modifier bucket and it brings up the tooltip. From here you can add or subtract any modifier and it will appear in the current modifiers list over here. A set of commonly used modifiers are in the pull-down menus to the right. For example, lighting or posture. Any modifier you add will be placed in this current modifiers bucket and will be applied to the very next roll that you make. You can always remove a modifier by clicking on it. And finally, you can just remove all the modifiers by clicking this trash can. For example, let's say Bog has just left the tavern at night and he's drunk and for some reason tries to slap the stable boy in the face. We can add a size modifier for the small boy. It's a full moon outside. He's drunk and he's trying to hit the kid in the face. This modifier will then be applied to the next roll, so we'll roll Brawling to see if he hits. And he does not. But let's say that Bog does hit. The stable boy wants to dodge. He takes a step back, so does a retreating dodge, and decides to spend the extra effort to do Feverish Defense. Notice that this modifier costs 1 fatigue point. If a roll is made with this modifier, the fatigue point will automatically be deducted from the character. So the stable boy attempts the dodge and succeeds, and you'll notice that the fatigue point has been paid. Now let's assume that Bog hit and the stable boy failed his dodge. The GM determines that the damage would be basic thrust, so Bog rolls the basic thrust damage. The GM can then apply the damage by dragging the chat message onto the character sheet of the target, and the Apply Damage dialog will appear. Information on how to use the Apply Damage dialog is covered in a separate video. We have 4 character sheets. This is the full view, modeled after the GCS character sheet. You can press this title bar button to get to the combat view, a smaller view focusing only on combat issues. If you hold the Shift key down, you can open up the simplified view, a form specifically made for new GURPS players. And finally, there's the NPC mini view. Any character or NPC can use any sheet. In this case, the stable boy can use the full view, but takes up less space in the NPC mini view. You can quickly get there by holding down the Control key and clicking this button. And finally, you can open up the editor on any actor. All of these fields can be edited. When you're done, just go back to a previous view and your data will be saved. Information on how to use the editor and other GM and owner functions will be covered in other videos. Well, now you can play GURPS online. Thank you for watching.